everybody, I hope that you're all doing really well. So today I am back to do the Booktube Birthday Tag. The 20th of May is actually the anniversary of my first ever video on Booktube, so I thought we would celebrate that today. I've also asked for some questions for a 1 year on Booktube Q&A, and I might have already filmed that video by the time that this one goes out. However, if you do have any questions, I might end up filming a sneaky little addendum to that. So do leave questions down below if you have any. But getting straight into the questions, question number one is, how many years on Booktube are you celebrating? And as I say, I am celebrating my first year on Booktube. I am no longer a baby on Booktube, I'm now getting straight into toddlerhood. Maybe one of these days I will actually learn how to talk and walk. Question number two is, what has kept you motivated to continue making videos? And I think it's kind of a cheesy answer to give, but it's the honest one, and that is the people and the community, and being able to talk to people is just so lovely. That was really the reason that I started making Booktube videos, is because I just wanted to have a place to talk to people about books, especially because I started in the middle of lockdown and, you know, I was away from all of my friends, you know, just kind of locked away in my house. You know, whereas at university, like, I had a group of friends and we'd all get together at least once a week. We'd go to a cafe or a restaurant and we'd just chat about stuff, including books that we were reading, and I didn't have that anymore. And also partially because I just always wanted to film Booktube videos, and I thought, you know, I've got this massive stretch of time where I don't know where I'm gonna be, what I'm gonna be doing, when I'm next gonna be allowed out of the house. So, you know, if you can't do Booktube now, when can you do it? And I am so glad I did, and I know everybody always says it, but I do kind of wish I'd started it earlier. So if you are currently on the fence about doing Booktube videos, I would just recommend doing it. I feel like there are always ways around every like question that people have about starting videos. You know, there are answers and there are ways to find out what to do, and you know, there are solutions. I can barely talk incoherent sentences in videos, yet I'm doing it. Editing is your friend. Question number three is, what are 3 of your favourite videos that you've made in the past year and why? It's one of those questions that feels very much like patting yourself on the back, like, well done me for my video. I've got every traffic thing going on in this video today. I do think, even though it's not the most booktubey video, I do really love my which version of Les Mis should you watch or listen to video. I spent so many hours towards that video, listening to different cast recordings, like having my Excel spreadsheet where I compared all 7, and I had people being like, God, you must be really sick of Les Mis. And the sad thing is that no matter how many times I listen to Les Mis, I will not be sick of it. Putting together my little playlist of like the ultimate Les Mis album, I just had a really fun time doing it, and I was so excited to get that video up. I don't know how many of you have seen it if you're not really big fans of Les Mis. I know my Les Mis videos didn't tend to do quite as well because, you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea, you know, reading a 1400 page book, not for everyone. But I did have a lot of fun doing it, and, you know, just got to listen to Les Mis all month. It was great. On a similar musical theatre theme, and kind of cheating because I am including 2 videos here, I was really proud of my book recommendations based on Hamilton songs videos. I had one video for Act 1, one video for Act 2, and I basically took each song from Hamilton and then recommended a book. It was one of those like spur of the moment things that just came to me. Like, I was waking up and I had this thought in my head of, recommend books based on Hamilton songs. The Pro Shot had just been released on Disney Plus like that month, so I was really in a Hamilton frame of mind, and I was really kind of surprised at how quickly I was able to find like the 42, 43, 44 different books to fit the songs of Hamilton. And it was literally, I had the idea in the morning, I came up over the course of the morning with the book recommendations and then filmed it that afternoon. It took like 3 hours to film, and then it took a very long time to edit, but by the time I got it out I was so pleased with myself. And then the third video that I would say really springs to mind as one that I'm proud of is my Wolf Hall review. I did a video reviewing all 3 of the books in the Thomas Cromwell trilogy by Hilary Mantel, and that was the very first review that I'd ever done, and I felt a lot of pressure to get that right because not only is it a really beloved book, but also I'd never done a review before, so I was like very meticulous. I scripted the entire thing out, and I had so many different thoughts and feelings, so I was just trying to make sure that I didn't end up just word vomiting all over you. And I think it actually came out pretty well. I'm very pleased with that video, and it's one that I know that a lot of people from my workplace have actually watched. It's always the one that people mention, that or my Hamnet video. So if anybody from my work is currently watching, hello. And yeah, I just find it funny that these reviews that I posted back in June 2020 are still getting views and still getting traction. I think that does go to show that even though book reviews don't tend to get a lot of views on first publication, that people do come back to them. So yeah, don't neglect individual reviews is a good piece of advice. I say that as somebody who has not posted an individual book review in a very long time. I do need to get back on that. Question number 4 is, what have you struggled with on Booktube in the past year and how did you overcome that struggle? I think the main thing that I've struggled with in this past year is really confidence, and just generally when I started off doing videos, the main thing that I struggled with was filming, because I'm not the most eloquent talker. I don't know if you can tell. I do stumble over my words a lot of the time, which means that I have to do like a pretty thorough job of editing my videos. And I also don't love editing it. Kind of feels like I don't love filming and I don't love editing. Why on earth do I do these videos? But I've gotten a lot more confident with filming and I don't like beat myself up so much about stumbling over my words. And I remember the first time that I actually sat down to film a video for Booktube, I filmed 2 videos back to back and I ended up having like this tension, this stress headache for the entire day afterwards because I was so on edge. I really wanted to film a video. I wanted to show to myself that I could do it, but I was so anxious about it. And I haven't had that stress headache anymore since I did that first lot of filming. So I think that is progress. I still do struggle a little bit with editing because it is such an arduous process for me, and I am procrastinator extraordinaire, so you know, often I'll end up putting it off. But the thing is, I do love having a finished video. That finished product just makes me so happy, brings me so much joy, and I just feel very accomplished with myself. So that's one of the reasons why I keep doing it. 1, for the community, and 2, because I just feel very proud of myself for getting a video out. So I think the way that I've overcome it is just thinking, you know, end goal, I'll have a video out and I'll be really pleased with that video. I always get to the end of a filming session feeling like, okay, that video is going to be completely useless. I'm going to get to editing and I'm not going to want to use any of this. And I have never yet had to scrap an entire video based on what I filmed. Somehow I've always managed to string together words well enough that I've been able to get a video out of it. So I'm very pleased with that. Question number 5 is, choose one moment from the past year on Booktube that you would love to relive. There's definitely been some really great high points, but I don't know. I think the one that I would really like to relive was my birthday live stream. I had such a great time doing that. I'll be the first person to admit that I'm not a hosting sort. I didn't really know what I was doing for the most part, and I was just like scrambling together trying to think of things to keep the conversation going, because I was just worried that there were going to be a lot of like dead silences because I'd not been able to be entertaining enough and being able to fill gaps anywhere. But I feel like for the most part that didn't happen, and I had such a great time getting to chat with my friends, my Booktube friends. It was just such a lovely evening and I felt loved, so yeah, I'd quite like to relive that. Question number 6 is, shout out a huge supporter of your channel. And God, where do I start? I don't think I could just shout out one person. That would be ridiculous, because there are just so many people who have shown me such love and such support over this past year. Obviously, have to mention Kieran from KD Books. Kieran found me like 2 weeks into filming videos. I think he found me through my Wolf Hall video, and basically we've been talking pretty much every other day since then. My Wolf-a-thon girls, I have to give a big heart to you, because I'm also chatting with them every day now, which is so lovely. I've had shout outs from a bunch of people, the most notable ones who did a massive boost to my subscriber count, it has to be said, were Lucy the Reader, who like about a month or 2 into me posting videos shouted me out on her Insta stories, and then suddenly my subscriber count just doubled overnight. That was insane. And then also Katie from Books and Things gave me a shout out a few months ago, and that brought me over 1,000 subscribers, which was just like, there are just so many different people, like Melina and Grace from GK Reads, Nell and Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. I'm actually feeling anxious because I just know I'm not going to be able to mention everybody, but just like anybody who's ever left a comment, anybody who's ever given a shout out, anybody who's ever like said a nice thing. I'm just so grateful. Question number 7 is, what's the best book you've read in this past year? And that was actually really, really hard to try and pin down, because if you look at my best books of 2020, actually a lot of the books that I read for that video, I read pre-starting Booktube. So things that you might expect, like The Mirror and the Light, like The Other Bennett Sister, actually I read pre-May, or at least pre-May 20th. Gosh, which books? I mean, obviously I've talked about Matilda, Empress, Queen, Warrior a billion times. I'm also thinking about the fact that I have read and reread and re-listened to Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston about 4 times in this past year. You might think that's silly, but that's what I go to for comfort apparently. I also really, really love The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue in this past year. Oh gosh, a lot of good books. Question number 8 is, where do you see your channel in a year's time and what do you hope to have achieved? That feels very much like an interview question. Honestly, I don't know. I don't want to put too much pressure on it, because I do just want this to be something that I do for fun and because I enjoy it. I'm hoping I've still got a lovely community of people who just like chatting about books. I would love to still be doing videos. I'd love to chat more about non-fiction history especially. That's something that I do want to put a focus on too. I know I keep saying it, but I do really, really want to restart my Penguin Monarchs series. series of videos, because as I've said about 1,000,000,001 times, I am really passionate about history and making history more accessible and more entertaining and fun, because it is. I don't want to get too het up about numbers, but you know, it would be quite nice to get to 2K in the next year, but no pressure. And you know, just keep reading, keep enjoying it. I would like to feel a little bit more settled in this room for filming, and also try and get better with reading vlogs. I still feel like I'm quite a baby when it comes to doing reading vlogs and getting more comfortable whipping my phone out to film. So yeah, just keep getting better. And then finally, question number 9 is tag someone whose anniversary is coming up. Off the top of my head, I know that I started my channel around the same time as Grace from GK Reads and Sylvie from the TBR Diaries. I don't know if I've just missed your birthday, so I'm really sorry if I have, but you know, if you would like to do these videos, feel free. And if you are also coming up on your Booktube anniversary, then yeah, just do it and say I tagged you. Anyway, those are all the questions for today. Like I say, my 1 year on Booktube Q&A will be coming out in a few days. So yeah, look forward to that. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.